set of flashcards with all of the terms you'll need to know, along with like 3 extra. And they have pictures on them of what you're going to need to identify. So you're going to have to look at the picture and write which number is correct on your quiz. Okay? But right now they're measuring Marigolds, getting that done, and then they'll study.
We know. Six. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one is 6. 3. Ooh. There's control with
Running rulers, and that's running.
All right, so I'm scanning in the quiz and getting it on Schoology shortly.
7.1.
Remember that you need to find the average of all the heights.
6 centimeters.
I'm all together and then go. I don't know.
Jeez. That's no, that's not control. 0 is 1, 2, 3, 4.
0.
Also, it's just 4. Yeah. 4. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3. Alright. Is it the 16th? I got it.
Today is April 16th. Yes, sir. All day long.
Wait, is this one a marigold? Yeah. I don't know. Plane right there. The plant, yeah, you can even see it. It's right there. How'd that go get there? Stand on.
Mm-hmm.
Right there is that the marigold?
Nope.
Plant there right there.
Yep, so that must be like a weed of some sort.
Oh,
I'm not sure.
there's some weed. Some of them are. Remember thinking weeds really. Something there. You eat. In the garden. I was like, wait.
Oh, yeah.
Is that weed? Trying to eat. Well, this is. Now that I think of it. Put it down 0. I took it out. The weed out. Oh. I thought we were.
Is this?
4, right on the ground.
Look at this.
There's weed, okay.
Right. It's a good weed thing, yeah. Muy. I know you want me
That
to.
one's a 0. The zero.
This is the height of control.
3.2.
Is that 8 centimeters?
No, not me, height.
Yeah, Parker. I mean, you're Ryan.
So is that actually 5 centimeters?
Right, that would have been.
It's pretty tall overall, but then there's just this one thing. So that it's like this. It looks like this, but there's just a small thing that sticks up. Which gives it.
It could be a whole piece.
If these
It
two
is.
stick up.
Start up a bunch of people getting into like spiritual.
Have you ever
It's confusing.
3.6 stars. My goodness.
What? Keeps on rating them bad.
Amazing.
5 reviews.
Wait, how do you
wrote
I'll do
mine.
5 reviews.
Rate.
What do we put the pockets?
That's you.
You can put the packets right on the stool here. That's a great idea. You guys are making a mistake. If I would have had a 5-star rating, I would have given everybody 100%. Too bad.
Hold on.
I guess next time I won't make flashcards. Oh well.
I'm
It's all right.
5
It's all right.
stars. Who did it?
I gave you.
Although-
It's all right. It's all right. You
I didn't
know,
give
If I
him
did
any
it right
stars.
now, you'd still give me 100%.
huh?
If I did it right now, would you still give me 100%?
No, too late. People already showed me what they really liked about it.
Sorry.
Looks like no flashcards next time. You're on your
I
own.
started.
Okay.
Oh, it's too late. Ever heard that saying, too little, too late? Yeah,
No.
That applies.
How dare you do it?
applies to this situation.
You're not acknowledged about it, so it doesn't count.
You were acknowledged about it a whole bunch of times.
I was not, what?
What's acknowledged? I mean,
Like, how do you rate it?
Means,
I think you are saying
The
it.
flashcard. How do you rate the flashcard?
What does
well,
acknowledge
I'm
mean?
saying it how I want.
It means like knowledge.
We just have to pack it.
Packets can go on the stool there.
I acknowledge.
That's something I need to fill out my page. It's hard to fill this out.
Everybody's here on a Friday. Awesome. It's awesome.
Seems like there's always.
I almost like slept in today.
Good thing you didn't.
Like I fell asleep and then I started like dreaming and then I was like,
Refresh it.
4.2. All right.
That's better.
Better.
I didn't even rate it yet. I gotta rate it.
Oh, yeah.
See?
You do not have to rate it.
So
Everybody.
next round, one start.
If you don't rate it, you get help. We're doing the.
Gotta go fast.
Good.
Rulers can go up in the basket there.
Yeah,
Mr. Dayton, it's a 5.2 star.
Yeah,
It's a 5.2 star.
I see 4.2.
Refresh.
I'm refreshing.
All my students says 5.2.
That's
Out of 5?
These, yes, it says 5. It says 5.2, I promise. Yeah, I know.
All right.
Let me see, I don't believe them.
Everybody done with the
No.
marigolds? No?
I mentioned it.
All right, now we have to refresh it.
That is.
Oh, am I?
Dang.
Okay,
Dang,
so
no.
5.2.
Online students, you should also be doing the warm-up, right? That happens every day. We do Friday, April 16th. Greeting, GPS, and directions. Click on that.
Already?
And then go down to click here. And then we do the warm-up. The targets for today are 2, 4, and 5, I believe. Let me look again. I gotta make sure. 2, 4, and 5. Measure our marigolds. By the way, if you ever think this is too small, because I know the Chromebook screens are very small, you click the 3 dots, right? 3 dots usually gives you options or settings. Click that. Enter full screen. All right, there you go. And you can look at that. So we measured our marigolds already, kind of got a head start on that. And then we are going to complete the perch dissection quiz. We're going to go, you'll know you're successful when you've measured your marigolds, recorded the data. Looks like some of you are still doing that. Perfect. And when you have correctly labeled all the body parts of a perch, not all of them, but the important one, well, not even the important ones, but the ones that we've decided for you to do. And then you click here to complete the warm-up for today. In the warm-up, here are our questions, and we'll go through them. I have 12 responses. I should have 19, but c'est la vie. All right. We talked about the targets. How many chambers does a fish's heart have? How many chambers, Austin?
2.
2, yes. Our hearts have 4. And I don't know any chambered hearts that have 921 or 16 for that matter. Okay, they only have 2. They have an auricle or an atrium and a ventricle, right? You have atrium or atria and ventricles. So what your heart does is it receives unoxygenated blood, pumps it to the lungs where it receives oxygen, right? When you breathe in, what are you breathing in, guys and gals? Oxygen. It goes to your lungs, and then it gets to your blood that's been sent to your lungs, okay? And then it gets pumped back through the heart, oxygenated, and then it gets pumped to your body, right? Your body needs oxygen to function. When it gets used up, it comes back to the heart, all right? So you have 4 chambers that allows it to pump that blood a little bit faster and a little more efficiently. A cool thing that I learned about in I think it was a video that I watched or something. A perch only has 2. So it gets unoxygenated blood, gets sent to the gills by the heart, and then it doesn't come back, okay? So it has to make it all the way to the body, and nothing is pumping it. So what it has to do in order to make that blood move is move its body, all right? Move its muscles. Now, imagine if you had to move your muscles constantly to keep your blood pumping. What would that be like?
Not good.
Not be good. So land animals, if they did this, they would die of exhaustion. You would be exhausted because you wouldn't be able to keep up with it and do it constantly and nourish yourself, all right? But since a fish lives in water, what happens in water when you try? What happens in water to gravity? What happens to like things that you lift in water? Yeah.
No, it feels lighter.
Whatever the water is on top of it.
Right, but like if it's hard to explain. The effect of gravity in water is less, right?
Yeah.
It's easier to like pick up a heavier thing. Yeah. What do you got?
Well, I think it's more like it kind of makes things kind of more lighter, but it's still the same mass. Of course.
Yes. Yes.
When it comes to like flowing water, it's just basically it's what was it? I forgot.
That's okay. Anyway, but maybe you've seen athletes do rehab in like pools because it's easier on the body. Yes. Okay. Swimming is easier on the body than constantly being weighed down by gravity. But anyway, I thought that was a cool fact that the fish has to actually move its body in order to keep its blood moving. No one thinks that's cool. Okay, whatever, fine. You all day, try all day today to just sit there and move to keep your blood pumping. Tell me how you feel at the end of the day. No? All right, everyone's so serious on a Friday. Okay. Anyway, a female perch's gonad is called an ovary. Austin and Zach, I think, had one of them. No, Ryan and Parker. I guess in second hour, we had a lot more female perches, and they had a lot more ovaries, and then fewer of the males. The male's gonads are called what? Stomachs, eyes, kidneys, or testes? Sawyer?
Testes.
Testes, okay. And those are much smaller and not filled with eggs.
Oh, I thought it's called the esophagus.
Esophagus, yeah. Anybody want to share what they're doing this weekend? I saw some people. Austin, you got a baseball or basketball tournament? A baseball game?
Yeah.
Who's working? Someone said they're working.
I think I know.
Who's reading a lot? Love that. Who's moving to Arizona? Somebody online moving to Arizona?
I am.
We have research Emily.
Emily, are you moving to Arizona?
Yeah.
I can't hear you, unfortunately. What's up?
I'm going to a Magic Gathering tournament this weekend.
Magic the Gathering tournament. Where's that at, man?
4 Miss. It's downtown near the library.
It's downtown near the library? Nice.
What was it?
Riley says, I don't know. Sawyer is going to play video games. What video games you playing, Sawyer?
I don't know.
Okay. Aiden, more than likely working. What are you going to work on?
Tree service.
Tree service? All right. Who's going outside? That's Cooper. All right. Have fun outside, Cooper. Resting and going outside, says Carissa. Nice. James, have fun driving your RC car. Julia, what are you going to do? Relaxing. Love it. Oh. All right. Anyway, let's get into it. Oh, yeah, Emily. So enjoy your move down to Arizona. Are you going to be done with school then?
Yeah.
I don't know if my volume is wacky. Anyway. Brody's playing games. Zach, you want to go to the skate park by Swan Park? Yeah? You going to do a kickflip?
I
Do a backflip before I can.
Oh, you ride your bike. Alana, gonna hang out with your friend. Awesome. Aiden Stone, Magic the Gathering. Nice. Zach, dunno. Okay, have fun doing dunno. All right, here we. Oh my gosh. What up?
This is a question for everyone. Does anyone in here know what Magic the Gathering
I
is?
do.
No.
Nope. No,
What
but
did
I
you
will birthday.
Yeah. No, it was a person that got me.
All right. So here we go. Perch. In this quiz will be on the internal anatomy, external anatomy. If you want to write any of it down, the names of the fins, that is extra credit. So that should be kind of, well, it shouldn't be easy, but we definitely went over the fins a number of times. I'm going to go over this together. I want you to have your study guide out right now. So everybody have your study guide, please. You have 30 seconds to get that out. Ready? Go. Oh, I'm challenging you. Open your front pocket.
I don't think that's a good idea. If I do a blink, it's gonna pop out at light speed.
This.
Yes. Turn to the internal anatomy side. The one where we're looking at the internal, that would be inside of the fish. Okay, the esophagus.
Yeah.
The esophagus. I don't know what number it is. 6?
Oh no, that's a cerebellum.
Cerebellum. Number 10?
Yeah.
Okay, number 10, it is pointing at the tube that connects the mouth to the stomach. You have an esophagus, right? So it's pointing at right here, this tube that goes to the stomach. You have an esophagus that also does the same thing, takes your food from your mouth to your stomach. So that's how you can remember that. If you know this is the stomach, you know that's the esophagus. Okay? And that's what its function is. It's just a passageway. All right, our optic lobe, one we did not talk about much. It's number 5 on your study guide, okay? And the optic lobe, anyone ever been to an optometrist? Yeah, if you have glasses, you might have had to go to an optometrist. That's an eye doctor, okay? Optometrist or something like, or an eye specialist, something like that, okay? So optic has to do with sight. It's up near the eye, but it's not the first little lobe here. Number 5, the optic lobe, and that it's connected to the brain by the optic nerve, and that controls their sense of sight. Cool with that?
Yeah.
Okay, next one. Kidney. This one was kind of hard to see. It's behind the swim bladder, okay, or the air bladder, whatever you want to call it. Number 11. The kidney collects metabolic waste for excretion, just like it did in the crayfish. Metabolic waste eventually is like pee, basically. So fish pee is filtered through the kidneys and collected there. Your kidneys do something similar. All right, gallbladder, also one we did not talk about a lot. Not like a urinary bladder. We will not be talking about that one. Number 23, so it's this little white bean-looking thing. And what the gallbladder does, you also have a gallbladder, is to store digestive juices from the liver until they are needed. So the gallbladder kind of aids in that digestion process by storing digestive juices. Okay. Next, the cerebellum. This has to do with the brain. Okay. Number 6, cerebellum. It's a part of the brain that coordinates muscular activity. You also have a cerebellum. This coordinates movement and muscular activity for the fish. So this is what controls its swimming. The cerebellum. It is the second, well, I guess you could call it like the third lobe. It's the last one kind of at the end there, number 6. Okay, now let's move on to the spleen. All right, this is an abdominal organ that filters disintegrated, you can basically call it a filter. Filters disintegrated cells from the blood. You're looking at this smushed white thing here. Not this bean up here, but number 25, the smushed white thing. And that filters disintegrated cells from the blood. You have your spinal cord. This one should be fairly simple. It's the cord that runs down the spine or the backbone of the fish. Number 9, I should have zoomed in a little better. But it's this line, right? Spinal cord. You also have a spinal cord. You also have a spleen, by the way. Moving on. Stomach. You definitely have a stomach. This one should be one of the more simple ones. This big thing here. Austin, I believe you guys found a fish in your stomach, a minnow?
2.
Yeah, 2 of them?
2.
Okay. Pretty obvious that that was the stomach when you found some food in there. Okay. Yeah. But this is where digestion takes place. Undigested food gets passed to the intestines. Stomach is a reservoir for food, basically a storage area for food. Dorsal aorta. Okay, an aorta has to do with pumping blood. These 3 little veins or arteries connect to this aorta right here on the back of the fish, and that carries blood from the gills. So the gills get oxygenated blood, right? Blood full of oxygen. Yay, we like that. And take it to the intestines and the rest of the body via this dorsal aorta. Okay? Next, let's talk about the intestines. This one should be fairly simple. You have intestines as well. You also have an aorta in your heart. The aorta, again, helps pump blood to the rest of your body. Number 27 here, here's the intestines. They're shown kind of hanging out of the body right now. But yeah, intestines, they carry digested food to be absorbed by blood, right? Your food you eat for a reason. It needs to be absorbed by your body so that it can use it for energy. Undigested food, of course, goes out the anus. You have the liver right here. This speckled thing. Number 22, it releases juices for digestion. The gallbladder stores them. This releases, and this also stores glycogen. Gills, number 17. This one should be fairly easy, right? Look at that, the feathery gills there, number 17. Okay, that is used for respiration. Respiration is a fancy word for what?
Air.
Breathing, yeah, right? Good. Fancy word for breathing underwater. You got to get oxygen through the gills. Nostrils, this would be extra credit, but how easy is that extra credit? Pretty easy, right? Those are, so I'll throw you that one. All right, this one is a little bit tougher. Instead of just labeling the heart, which is 19 and 20, you got to label both parts. 19 is the auricle or the atrium. Auricle or atrium. You have an atrium. You have atria. And what this does, it receives blood from all parts of the body and cleans it and begins to send it to the gills. Oops. Here is the swim bladder. This big old airbag there, right? The balloon. What does that do? It's responsible for buoyancy, rising and sinking. Okay? And the ventricle, back to the heart. Okay? This distributes, so it gets we get the unoxygenated blood to the auricle. It's got to get sent to the ventricle. The ventricle says, boom, get out of here. Goes to the gills. Why does it go to the gills? Well, that's where the oxygen is coming in, right? Gets the oxygen. Carbon dioxide is released. Then it gets pumped all the way to the parts of the body. But it only gets pumped once, unlike your body, which gets pumped again a second time so that it has more energy, or, more force to get there. That's why I talked about the fish having to move its muscles. Yes?
Oh yeah, this is about blood. I was talking about blood. How do we? There wasn't any blood when we cut the fish open.
Yeah, because of the preservatives and the blood it's dead. The blood's not flowing.
Preservatives? Does that mean it was?
Like preservatives allow it to slow, and we didn't hit any arteries. Plus the thing is dead, so like anything that dies, like after a while, it's not going to bleed. The blood will.
Hey, Berkeley, you want to go
Yeah.
fishing and cut open fish?
Yeah, there'll be blood if you cut open a live fish for sure. Not a ton. Yeah. So this is another extra credit, the lateral line. Oh wow, look at that. That's a pretty easy one, right? You don't have to write all of this. Okay, what the lateral line does is it is a sense organ that allows it to feel pressure. Like it's filled with fluids. That's what that line is. Okay. And then finally, this is extra credit as well. This is the gonads, and we talked about that. Females have an ovary, which looks like this. It's big and looks like eggs on it, because it is. Males have testes. This picture shows an ovary. Okay, that's your quick review. We got to get going on this. So you can either take this online or in paper and pencil. Who would like paper and pencil? Okay. Everyone, who would like paper and pencil? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. The rest of you are taking it online. Okay. Your notes need to be away. Your Chromebook can only be open to one thing. And that is the quiz. Remember, if you'd like to do the external, are you with paper? If you would like to do the external, that's all extra credit. So if you remember all the names of those fins and you want to get them going, you can be doing that, absolutely. Just write them on the fish or point to them on the fish. Okay? If you don't remember the fins, that's okay. All right. So, online students, you need to get to the quiz on Schoology. Everybody able to find it in here, you guys and girls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let me get it going then. All right, so paper and pencil people, you're gonna have to do some flipping. If you would like to stick with me, you can. If you wouldn't, that's fine as well. If you'd like to keep going, that's fine. When you're done, you're gonna put it on the desk in front of Austin. Okay. Let's see. I don't want that. I want this. All right. I'm gonna go. Well, how should I do this? Okay, I got to explain how you need to accomplish this. So, online students, you especially need to pay attention, okay? Because it's hard for me to make a correction on you while you're not here. Parker, question?
So, right in front of, like, let's just say optical, for example, it has parentheses. Is that where you put the letter?
Yep. So we're going to read the directions and go over it. Yep. So write the number in the parentheses. That's spelled wrong, but it's fine. Write the underlined letter or letters in the blank. Okay. So look over here on your list of body parts. There is an underlined letter or possibly two. maybe even 3. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to put the number of that body part in the parentheses. So you're going to have to look, find that body part, and put it in the parentheses. Then you're going to have to put this letter over here somewhere and match it to its function. Does that make sense? So, for example, if I thought the auricle controls the sense of sight in the brain, I would put AU right here. But right now it doesn't. The auricle doesn't. What do you got, Zach?
There's enough room on here. Can I just write the whole word?
Sure, if you want to write the whole word, that's fine too. I wouldn't be bothered if you wrote the whole word. Okay, down below, these ones you have to write their functions instead of match. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that you have to write their functions. However, these should be pretty simple ones, right? The gills, the stomach, the intestine, kidney, and esophagus. Okay, but you need to find the number, match it up, all right, and write the function. Now there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 body parts. You might say, well, wait a second. How come there's 16 being pointed to? There's not. There's no number 13. There is no number 13. So there's 1 through 12, and then 14, 15, and 16. Okay? All right, so we just kind of reviewed this. You can get after it. Okay, so Alana, it looks like you need to find the quiz and take it. It is in Schoology. Okay, yeah. Perfect. Got it there now. And you're going to have to scroll between the diagram and the answers. Okay. So Emily, it looks like you're using numbers from the study guide. You should be using the numbers from the actual quiz. Sorry, I blanked there. So you need to look at the number on the quiz. You should be using numbers 1 through 16 only. Okay, and then in the right-hand column, you should be writing the letter of that body part that matches the function. So over here we have the functions. You need to write the if you, Zach Vaughn asked if you could write the whole word. Sure, if you want to write the whole word, if you can type it in there, that's fine. But I need to be writing the letter at least, or letters in here, not numbers. Not numbers. This would be letters. This would be numbers. Okay. And then down here, obviously, these are numbers. And then over here, you have to actually write the function of 5 of them. 10 of them you get to match. 5 of them you get to come up with the definition from your own brain. If you are really stuck on one, just move on to the next and maybe it'll eat.
Want us to put the name right underneath the number
What's that?
on the bottom where it has that fish?
No, you shouldn't be writing there unless you're doing extra credit. You should not. So you won't be writing on this side unless you're doing extra credit and you want to do like the external or the couple extra credits that I gave you. You can see, right? Some of these lines were whited out. If you would like to do extra credit, you would just write the name of the body part. That'd be 1 point. If you gave me the extra credit for naming the body part, that's 1 point. If you gave me the extra credit by naming the body part and writing a function right next to it, that would be another point. Okay? So there's a lot of them that you could go for. If you studied that whole thing, you could have a lot. If you really focused on the ones I told you to, don't worry about it. You'll be fine. Does that make sense? You're only writing on this side. You're only writing on this side if you're doing extra credit. Okay. Parker, can you see? Are you okay? Kind of? Do you need to like go to the nurse to have your glasses fixed or something?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. I just don't want you to have to sit there and strain. But all right. James, it looks like, did you submit it already? All right, nice. If you submitted already, then you can go. Anybody have a question on anything? About what something's pointing to? Let me know. Look at my.
Let me look at my one because it's hard to look.
Yes. So. All right, I hope I don't. Yeah, it's looking, it's pointing at the thing up behind 15. All right, so one that maybe you have a question on. Number 3 is pointing at the organ that is behind number 15. So 15 is pointing at this big old thing. 3 is pointing at the organ behind it. All right.
There's a bunch of them. You can see like the end of the line. You can see the numbers.
Yeah.